Ahoy there! Welcome to Goofy's Wacky World Facts, where we explore the fascinating world of pirates. Today, we're going to dive into the life of one of the most notorious pirates in history, Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. There are few historical records about Blackbeard's life before he became a pirate, so much of his early years are shrouded in mystery. Some historians believe that he was born as Edward Drummond, while others suggest that his real name was Edward Thatch or Edward Teach. It's widely believed that Blackbeard served in the Royal Navy during Queen Anne's War, which was fought between 1702 and 1713. He may have been involved in naval battles against the French and Spanish during this time, and it's possible that he acquired his knowledge of naval warfare and navigation during his service. However, it's not clear when or why Blackbeard turned to piracy. Some historians speculate that he may have been disillusioned with life in the Navy or that he was inspired by the success of other pirates at the time. Whatever the reason, Blackbeard quickly became one of the most feared and successful pirates of his era, and his legacy has endured to this day. Blackbeard's fearsome appearance was a key part of his persona, and he used it to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. In addition to his long black beard and smoking fuse, he also wore a red coat and carried multiple pistols and swords. Some reports suggest that Blackbeard deliberately cultivated his fearsome appearance to make himself more intimidating. For example, he would reportedly light slow-burning fuses in his beard during battles to create an aura of danger and unpredictability. Blackbeard was particularly active in the waters around the Caribbean, which were a major trade route for European powers at the time. He targeted both merchant ships and coastal towns, using his superior firepower and strategic cunning to capture his prey. Despite his reputation as a ruthless pirate, however, there are some reports that Blackbeard was actually a relatively merciful leader. For example, he would reportedly take prisoners and release them unharmed after taking their valuables. Nonetheless, his actions still struck fear into the hearts of his contemporaries, and his name became synonymous with piracy and lawlessness. The Queen Anne's Revenge was one of Blackbeard's most famous and formidable ships, and it played a key role in his success as a pirate. Originally named La Concorde, the ship was a French slave vessel that Blackbeard captured off the coast of West Africa in 1717. He outfitted it with 40 guns and renamed it the Queen Anne's Revenge, after Queen Anne of England, who was the reigning monarch at the time. The Queen Anne's Revenge was an impressive ship, with a length of around 100 feet and a crew of over 300 men. It was heavily armed and able to take on even the most heavily fortified vessels, thanks to its firepower and speed. Blackbeard used the Queen Anne's Revenge to great effect during his career as a pirate, raiding merchant ships and coastal towns throughout the Caribbean and eastern coast of North America. The ship became a symbol of Blackbeard's power and influence, and it helped cement his reputation as one of the most notorious pirates of his era. Unfortunately for Blackbeard, his time as a pirate was short-lived. He was killed in a battle with British naval forces in 1718, and the Queen Anne's Revenge was lost at sea for centuries. It wasn't until the 1990s that the ship's wreckage was discovered off the coast of North Carolina, and today it is a popular site for divers and tourists alike. The legend of Blackbeard's treasure is one of the most enduring aspects of his legacy, and it continues to capture the imaginations of treasure hunters and history buffs to this day. According to legend, Blackbeard amassed a vast fortune during his career as a pirate, which he stashed away in various locations around the Caribbean and eastern coast of North America. Many of these treasure troves were said to be buried on secluded beaches or in secret caves, where they would remain hidden from prying eyes. One of the most famous stories about Blackbeard's treasure involves a cache of gold and jewels that he supposedly buried on the outer banks of North Carolina. According to legend, he buried the loot in a spot known as Teach's Hole, where it has remained hidden for centuries. Despite numerous attempts to find the treasure over the years, no one has ever succeeded in uncovering it. Some historians believe that the legend of Blackbeard's treasure may be based more on myth than reality, and that much of the pirate's wealth was likely spent or lost at sea during his career. Regardless of whether the treasure is real or not, the legend of Blackbeard's riches continues to captivate the public imagination, and it remains one of the most enduring aspects of his legacy as a pirate. After years of terrorizing the seas, Blackbeard's reign as a pirate came to a violent end in a battle off the coast of North Carolina. In November 1718, Blackbeard and his crew were spotted by a British naval force led by Lieutenant Robert Maynard. Maynard and his men engaged in a fierce battle with Blackbeard's ship, the Adventure, which had been grounded on a sandbar. Despite being outnumbered, Blackbeard and his men fought tenaciously, but in the end, they were overpowered by the British. During the battle, Blackbeard was shot multiple times and stabbed by Maynard's men, including a fatal blow to the throat. His head was then cut off and hung from the bow of the British ship, the HMS Pearl, as a warning to other pirates. The defeat of Blackbeard was seen as a major victory for the British Navy and a sign that piracy could no longer be tolerated. It marked the beginning of the end for the golden age of piracy, as more and more pirates were hunted down and brought to justice in the years that followed. Today, Blackbeard's legacy as a pirate lives on, both in popular culture and in the many historical sites and artifacts that bear witness to his life and career. Blackbeard's flag was a symbol of terror on the high seas. It featured a horned skeleton holding an hourglass and spearing a heart, with the words ABH and AMH inscribed above and below. These letters stood for a Barbadian's head and a Martinican's head, respectively, and were a gruesome reminder of Blackbeard's penchant for violence. Blackbeard's legacy as a pirate has endured for centuries. He has been featured in countless books, movies, and television shows, and his image has become synonymous with piracy itself. From the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise to the Assassin's Creed video game series, Blackbeard's influence on popular culture is undeniable. And that's the story of Blackbeard, one of the most feared and legendary pirates in history. Thanks for watching Goofy's Wacky World Facts, and be sure to like and subscribe for more wacky facts about the world.